How to be more optimistic. Every day, are you a glass half empty kind of person? Maybe you consider yourself to be a realist, or you think you're more of a pessimist. Either way, you might find that life gets a little more enjoyable when you can take a more optimistic approach to things. Research suggests that an optimist actually enjoys a range of lifestyle and health benefits just because they look on the brighter side. If you're an optimist, you're more likely to have better health, both mentally and physically, reduce stress, and more determination to reach your goals. So how do you be more optimistic? It all starts with approaching life in a positive frame of mind. How to tackle life with more optimism. We can all have moments where we feel down in the dumps about something. You might have a bad night's sleep and suddenly struggle to see anything in a positive light. Maybe a negative experience at work has given you a sour taste in the mouth. However, when pessimism takes over everything you do, it's hard to find the joy in life. While you don't have to be happy-go-lucky all the time, you can take steps to actively increase the amount of optimism you bring into your world. For instance, give yourself more credit. How often do you sell yourself short? When something goes right in your world, do you admit it because something that you've done, or do you assume it has nothing to do with you? When something good happens, take a minute to stop and analyze the thought process. Ensure that you give yourself credit for making that positive thing happen. Avoid undermining yourself by saying that you had a lot of help from others or suggesting that anyone in the same situation could do the same thing. Instead, own the fact that you accomplished something and allow yourself to be happy about it. Give yourself a break. We can often be our own worst critics. Unfortunately, this makes it quite difficult to live a life based around optimism. If you constantly beat yourself up for making mistakes, take a moment to think about how this is affecting you. Ignoring the bad things that happen in your life is never a good idea. Burying your head in the sand can make issues more significant. At the same time, failing to understand the negative could mean you're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. However, that doesn't mean you should dwell on the bad things or make yourself feel terrible for what you've done. Instead, remind yourself that you're a human being and like anyone else, you'll make a mistake. You don't have to be perfect all the time. That would be unrealistic. Give yourself a break and remind yourself to learn and do better in the future. Surround yourself with positive people. Finally, one of the best ways to become more optimistic is to surround yourself with those who already look on the bright side of things. Sometimes it takes practice and training for you to reach a point where you can start looking at things from a different perspective. When you surround yourself with positive people, you can pay attention to the way they look at things and learn from their approach to the world. Optimistic people help you to become more positive yourself by giving you a model to emulate. Plus, you'll often find that positive people can be a wonderful cheerleader when you're trying to make positive changes in your life. They're always there to support you and give you credit when you are struggling to take it yourself. It's time to be more optimistic. The key to optimism is to maximize your focus on the things you do well and the good experiences you have in life. At the same time, it sometimes helps to minimize your failures or at least prevent them from taking over your perspective. Being optimistic doesn't have to mean ignoring the bleaker parts of life, but it does force you to let more positive to get through. Examining your shortcomings and mistakes will allow you to overcome challenges and achieve more in the long term. However, it can help to give yourself a pat on the back for things you do right. The more practice challenging your thought patterns with quests to become more optimistic, the more automatic the experience will come. You can start by focusing on developing optimistic habits gradually. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you can accept both the positive and the negative parts of yourself and your life. Seeing more of the positive will help you to become more optimistic as you enjoy its many benefits.